perfect
They gave
chaos.
Sonic a pot belly, bro. What is this? Yo, they gave Sonic a pot belly, bro. What the?
Simply
Yo,
wasn't
I'm
enough.
dying,
But if we
bro.
fast forward to Sonic
Oh my days, bro. It's been 10 days since I last posted. 10 whole days. My bad, guys. My bad. I've had exams and just things to worry about. But we're back. Don't relax. We're back. I know. Did you miss me? Be honest. Let me know in the comments if you miss me or not. Let me know. Just type in the comments if you miss me. Anyways, I missed y'all. And I'm you see how I'm smiling. I'm excited. I'm happy to be making videos again. I'm ecstatic. Look how I'm cheesing like a little kid, bro. Anyways, today got a banger video for you. We got a banger video. We got Game Sonic is way stronger than you think. I forget who recommended this video, but somebody in the comments recommended this video. If it was you who recommended this video, put it in the comments. But Game Sonic is way stronger than you think. Game Sonic has some crazy feats. I was playing Sonic Adventure 1. Sonic can breathe. He can breathe underwater in Sonic Adventure 1. So he's definitely way stronger than we think, or than I think. Anyways, let's get into the video. Let's make sure the audio is good.
Alright, so I want to talk about something that genuinely bothers me. Sonic the Hedgehog, specifically Game Sonic, not Archie or the movies, or not Boom, which we won't even talk about anyway.
Isn't Archie Sonic like the most broken of them? They had that Fleetway mode, the crackhead
Gets disrespected
Sonic.
constantly in power scaling conversations.
Damn.
People see a cartoon hedgehog with red shoes and immediately assume he's somewhere around the fast guy who beats robot genre. And that's such a fundamental misread of what the games have actually shown us over the years. So I had to actually make this video to disprove all of these people, because once
my misconception of Sonic was that I just always thought Sonic was like a kid's thing. You know, when I was a kid, we played Sonic. I thought it was a kid, but boy, was I wrong.
Sit down and go through the feats, statements, the lore entries, and exactly what the games are telling you, the picture that emerges is completely different from what most people assume. Make sure to like and subscribe if you like me as a person. Genuinely, you don't have to, but it really does help out the channel. Let's get straight into this.
The
first thing we have to speak about is how Sonic gets stronger every single game, and that's actually stated in the lore. Now, for the obvious Sonic fans out there, the first thing we need to understand before we get into
watch a video on the Sonic
is that Sonic is not just a static character power-wise. He grows in the games, and this isn't just an interference, but it's stated directly in Sonic Forces, as Infinite flat out tells Sonic that his abilities have exceeded their previous encounter. Sonic says to himself that he gets stronger every second. Now, obviously that specific line is a hyperbole, but that underlying principle is backed up by actual evidence across multiple games. The clearest example is Perfect Chaos, as in Sonic Adventure, Sonic needed to transform into Super Sonic to defeat Perfect Chaos. His base form simply wasn't enough, but if we needed to transform into Super Sonic to defeat Perfect Chaos.
They gave Sonic a pot belly, bro. What is this? Yo, they gave Sonic a pot belly, bro. What the?
Simply wasn't enough.
Dying,
but if we fast forward to Sonic Generations, an older Sonic beats Perfect Chaos in his base form. The same enemy with no emeralds. And what's even interesting about this is the fact that it was Perfect Chaos. Completely different result. That's not just a retcon, but that's the game showing you that Sonic genuinely grew stronger between those 2 points in his life. The 3DS version of Generations does something similar with the Bio-Lizard. Sonic fought the Bio-Lizard in Super Form during SA2, and in Generations he said it was easy because he fought it before. But here's the thing, he only fought it in his Super Form for the first time. Base Sonic is treating that as a casual fight, which tells you everything about how much he's scaled up, which is really interesting when you actually scale the Titans and Frontiers, which we'll get to later. So, when you're actually evaluating Sonic's power level, you always have to anchor it to where he is in the timeline. The Sonic we see in Frontiers is categorically not the same Sonic we saw in 1991. Keep that in mind for everything that follows. Secondly, we actually have to talk about base Sonic speed, which is already absurd. The bare minimum people accept is that he's Super Sonic, faster than sound. That's literally his name, and it's confirmed in basically every piece of official material from game manuals to Sega's own websites. Fine, I accept that, and it's not really interesting. But what is interesting is where it goes from there. As in the Japanese manual for Sonic CD, one of the earliest games in the series, there are statements describing Sonic's time warp ability, explaining that he needs to reach and maintain light speed to travel through time. That's light speed in a Genesis era game.
Wait.
That's the flaw.
Am I tripping? He just said Sonic can travel through time. Did Sonic have that ability when he fought Flash? Wally West.
Material from game manuals to Sega's own websites. Fine, I accept that, and it's not really interesting. But what is interesting is where it goes from there. As in the Japanese manual for Sonic CD, one of the earliest games in the series, there are statements describing Sonic's time warp ability, explaining that he needs to reach and maintain light speed to travel through time. That's light speed in a Genesis-era game. That's the flaw for classic Sonic speed. So, if we go fast forward into Sonic Unleashed, the HUD actually tracks your speed in SPD units and actually flags you when you hit peak velocity. When you use the light speed dash and move multiple in-game sources, it will confirm that it literally operates at the speed of light. It registers at 396 SPD.
Damn.
Sonic's top running speed in that game clocked at 4,399 SPD. That's over 11 times the speed of light in his base running form. And Unleashed Sonic is nowhere near peak Sonic as we go into Frontiers yet again. However, in Sonic and the Secret Rings, Sonic also outright states that he's faster than time itself. That's not just a cool line, but it's consistent with what the other games established and what the developer statements have since confirmed. Then there's the white space in Sonic Generations. The white space is described in the lore as a realm that exists outside of time and space, and a strange dimension between things that hold Sonic's cosmology together. Ian Flynn, who wrote Shadow Generations, confirmed in an interview that the white space is atemporal and aspatial, meaning the concepts of time and space literally don't apply there. And
Shadow?
Also the Eggmans confirmed this. Every member of Sonic's friend group moves freely around in white space. Classic Sonic, modern, all of them. The characters operating in a realm where time and space don't exist by definition have what power scales called inaccessible speed. Speed that breaks the speed equation altogether.
Inaccessible speed. But I remember I reacted to that in a video, and I was like, my mind can't even grasp what inaccessible speed even is.
Because the equation requires time and space to actually function, which is really interesting. And in null space from Forces, described in the Japanese version as a world of nothingness scaled off from every dimension, works exactly the same way. Sonic breaks out of it, in base form, without much apparent difficulty. Now yes, I understand he has the Rookie, but what power does the Rookie really have realistically? This is Sonic just using his speed to help the Rookie get out of null space. By the time we reach Frontiers, Base Sonic is reacting and dodging attacks from Titans, machines so powerful they required Super Sonic to properly fight them. And who could react to Super Sonic? The fact that Base Sonic is operating anywhere near that level is, when you actually think about it, completely unhinged. Also, we know how ridiculously powerful Gigantor
What's that villain's name again? I can't remember.
Tails actually confirms in the game during Chaos Island that Knight is comparable on par with Dark Gaia, which Sonic defeats with some ease. He's not like he was fighting for his life like he was in Sonic Unleashed. Speed is one thing, but people also massively underestimate how hard Sonic hits. His striking power is fundamentally tied to his speed. That's always been the design. When you're moving at speed of light or beyond, the kinetic force behind every attack becomes genuinely astronomical. The games acknowledge this directly, with the in-game dialogue and descriptions noting that Sonic hits hard, especially because of how fast he can move his limbs. But beyond the physics of this, look at actually what he's fighting and damaging in his base form. Sonic has repeatedly fought and defeated enemies powered by Chaos Emeralds, individual Chaos Emeralds. As in Unleashed, they are shown exact enough force to overpower the gravitational binding energy of entire chunks of the planet, dragging the continental masses back towards the core. One Emerald. And Sonic in base form has fought and damaged beings powered by multiple emeralds simultaneously. The Death Egg is described multiple times across the series as a planet-destroying weapon. It's Eggman's orbital cannon designed to threaten Earth. What's also really interesting is the fact that Classic Sonic was able to blow it up in Sonic Forces, which is pretty crazy if you think about it. Classic Sonic. That places base Sonic's destructive capability comfortably at planetary scale as a conservative estimate. A conservative is doing a lot of the work here. Also, beating Infinite in Sonic's base form in Sonic Forces did serve as one of the most significant testaments to Sonic's raw power and his exponential growth. Because Infinite was empowered by the finalized Phantom Ruby that also powered the Death Egg. This was also capable of warping reality, distorting space and time, kind of like Sonic Generations, and manifesting a literal sun to incinerate the resistance, which is by far one of the strongest things the Sonic community has ever went up against. And I'm talking about the characters and the community.
Shadow. Shadow's just the toughest of them all. That's my favorite Sonic character. Like, he can use the Chaos Emeralds, but nah, he prefers a gun.
Early in Sonic Forces, Infinite easily overwhelmed Sonic, but by the final confrontation, Sonic had adapted to Infinite's immeasurable speed and reality-bending illusions through this sheer raw power, and also just having the combat experience that he learned throughout the series, as now we know Sonic is a combat expertise when it comes to Sonic Frontiers. But beating a foe of this magnitude who controlled null space and summoned clones of the past world-threatening villains without relying on the Chaos Emeralds places base Sonic at a tier of power previously preserved for his super form. This feat also shows that Sonic's base state has evolved to a multiversal level of strength, as he can now physically outpace and shatter constructs to break the very laws of physics, which makes him an unstoppable force even without his supersonic transformation. Sonic is ridiculously strong, but if you want
he's actually strong. I At first, you think his strength comes from like the speed, kind of like Barry Allen, the speed or the chaos of emeralds, but he's actually strong. Like, did you see when the robot almost stepped on his head and he just used both hands and blocked it? Probably like a 10-ton robot.
You can
what
just
the
say
frick is this guy?
planetary, which is lowballing him like crazy, but the super form changes
isn't that
everything.
one?
So now onto Supersonic. Everything I've just
remember that.
described is base, and when you get the Chaos Emeralds, the conversation changes entirely. The Chaos Emeralds contain literally infinite energy, and that's not just fan interpretation. The games actually state it. They have limitless positive and negative energy. When Sonic channels all 7, he enters his super form, and the multiplier on his abilities is not fixed or capped, but it scales with the user's heart and the power they draw from the emeralds, which is why later Supersonics are dramatically more powerful than the earlier ones. In Sonic Advance 3, Supersonic grabs Eggman and flies him into space, reaching a star cluster inside a nebula in 6 seconds. The nearest nebula to Earth is 1,300 light years away. That speed calculated out is roughly 7 billion times the speed of light in a Game Boy Advance game, which is crazy compared to Frontiers. In Sonic Rush, Supersonic and Burning Blaze travel through space, visibly passing galaxies until they reach the edge of the observable universe in about 8 seconds. That comes out approximately 180 quadrillion times the speed of light. Those numbers are genuinely hard to process, but that's what the game shows. Then there's Solaris in Sonic 2006. Solaris is described across the game, the Primer Guide, and the Sonic Encyclopedia as a super-dimensional deity, a being that exists in the past, present, and future simultaneously.
And Supersonic just beat him by just flying and shooting beams. You don't tell me that's all that happened.
Which is
what
also
game is
noted
this?
by Silver, and was actively destroying all of space.
He went.
Game's lore states
he went
that
to throw some
transform
hands.
everything into nothing, which collapsed all of the existing timelines. Flynn confirmed in a Bumblecast interview that Solaris was destroying the concept of time itself, not just the physical space of time, but the conceptual framework. He described Solaris as something that literally consumes dimensions, which means he operates above this dimensional concept entirely. Supersonic, alongside Shadow and Silver, defeats Solaris. The Primer Guide even states that Sonic alone was only the one strong enough to permanently destroy Solaris. That further surpasses exactly what we presumed about Supersonic before this game.
Oh, I hear that theme.
And then Sonic Generations puts the timing to the
Yo, that song is such a banger. If you want to watch my reaction to that song, go check my channel. What song was that again? I can't remember. But I remember it was a banger. I can't hold on till the end of time.
Space-time and dragging different time periods into the white space. That same atemporal, spatial realm outside the dimensional existence.
One thing that still baffles me about Sonic is that he looks cool. He looks cute and all, but he really kill you.
Both classic and modern Supersonic
he really kill you.
Two Supersonics combining to destroy a being that was dismantling the architecture of existence. But, if I'm being completely honest, base Sonic was already going to be able to stomp the Time Eater considering Solaris was way more powerful than it, and because classic Supersonic is far weaker than modern Supersonic. And before anyone brings up the ring mechanic in the Supersonic fights, remember that is a game mechanic, it's not anything to do with Supersonic himself. Sonic Frontiers is where the power scaling gets pushed to a place that's genuinely hard to articulate. The Titans, Giganto, Wyvern, and Knight were built by the ancients specifically to contain the End, a primordial being described as infinitely above anything Sonic has ever faced before. The End states directly to Sonic that every villain he's ever fought, the Time Eater, Solaris, Chaos, Perfect Chaos, Infinite, and all... The Titans, Giganto, Wyvern, and Knight were built by the ancients specifically to contain the End, a primordial being described as infinitely above anything Sonic has ever faced before. The End states directly to Sonic that every villain he's ever fought, the Time Eater, Solaris, Chaos, Perfect Chaos, Infinite, and all of them are finite compared to it. It describes itself as infinite in contrast to beings that were already threatening multiple universes and timelines. And this is true, because when Ian Flynn was depicting how the End is supposed to be portrayed in the actual final game of Sonic Frontiers prior to it showing itself as a planet, they actually described the End as being anything you can imagine it as, which is crazy to think. The End is more stronger than anything we've seen before. But then again, Supersonic fights the End, and it is a struggle. He needs an additional power-up. The cyber corruption energy from the cyberspace fused with his super form to finally defeat it, as well as helping the barrier to defend himself against with Amy, Tails, Knuckles, and Sage. So, this fusion form, sometimes called Cyber Supersonic, which I personally call Supersonic 2, is visually distinct from regular Supersonic with the red eyes showing that combined energy. So, what does it mean? Well, Sonic defeated a being that is stated to be infinite compared to entities that were already destroying multiple universes simultaneously.
It's not
and
Solaris
is the craziest one here. It means that Sonic standing at the end of Frontiers is operating at a power scale that by any reasonable substructure beyond anything that the games have ever presented him as. And the key thing here is that Sonic has gotten here through growth. He earned it. The Sonic who struggled against Perfect Chaos in 1998 is the same character who casually walked past that fight in Generations, who defeats reality-consuming gods by Frontiers. So realistically, Sonic could just easily one-shot shot Perfect Chaos in about 5 minutes post Frontiers. So here's the thing I genuinely find interesting about all of this. Sonic has one of the most quietly observed power scalings in all of gaming. It almost never comes up. He'd easily stomp Kratos in the Doomslayer, which I personally believe. You guys want to have a discussion about that in the comments, I already know he does. Part of that is the presentation. Sonic is colourful and fast, and the games have that light tone. People don't associate that aesthetic with the multiverse power. Part of it is that these games spread these feats across decades and dozens of titles, so no single game hands you the full picture. But when you actually put this all together, this is what you're looking at: a character whose base form operates well beyond its light speed, whose combat capability is planetary at minimum, and whose supersonic form has defeated beings that were actively dismantling the concept of dimensional existence. That's not exaggeration. That's exactly just what the games are showing. So the next time someone brings up Sonic in a power
and the thing is, he's so cool while he's doing it. He doesn't even look like he's struggling. Like, bro is just standing there, just aura farming or heavy.
And dismisses him as just being that fast cartoon hedgehog, send him this video, because Sonic has been quietly building to be one of the most impressive, powerful profiles in all of gaming. Let me know what you think about this in the comments, and if I've missed anything, make sure to send me a huge idea. Like, I don't know, if the first person does that, I'll pin you, and we can have a discussion about it. So make sure to spam everything that you want to say.
It's a W video. Do y'all want me to watch Game Shadows Way Stronger Than You Think? Do y'all want me to check that out? This is a W video though. That boy Sonic was cooking. Why did they give Sonic a pot belly? I don't know. Why did they give Sonic a pot belly? Anyways, let me know what you think about the video. Let me know if you want me to. Anything you want me to react to, put it in the comments. I'll check it out. Make sure to like and comment and subscribe if you're new here. But yeah, Sonic. I mean, Sonic's been broken. Inaccessible speed. Like we've been knew he's been broken, bro. I learned that from that death battle video. I learned that from the death battle video for sure. Anyways, it's nice being back on YouTube. I plan to post every day. At least a post a day. At least a post a day for this whole summer. The goal is still 1,000 subscribers by the end of this year, okay? So that's the goal we're hitting. That's the goal we're aiming for, and hopefully I know we could do it. We could do it if I'm consistent. But thanks for being here, and thanks for the people who checked up on me and commented and said they missed my posts. I appreciate it a lot. I love y'all. I'll see you on the next video. Peace.